How Long Gone? We got clean stations over here coming to you live, a rare Thursday one-on-one. But, I think the world needs that, Jason. I think we got to feed the streets a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes when we have a guest scheduled and, things fall through, everyone's busy, especially summertime. These things happen, and I used to panic a little bit, but now I like the idea of a blank slate. I have no notes. I have nothing prepared to talk about. I have no witty, problematic jokes based on someone's recent stand-up special or book. It's just, I'm nut hanging continues, Chris. I feel like Jon Hamm right now.
It's nut hang summer.
You want a kid?
It's nut hang summer.
Gravity's a bitch.
I think that you're right. I think this is fine. I know Quavo's busy, so I think we're in a good spot.
Look, do I like the first Migos record? Yes. Is Quavo going to be a generational podcast guest for an hour of stimulating discourse? We don't know for sure, but gun to your head, I'm going to go nah.
I was talking to a fellow podcaster who's spoken to more rappers than we have, and he made a good point that it's like...
What did Coscarelli say?
You need rappers. You need to be in the same room with a rapper. Zoom makes it very difficult. You know what I mean? I think that like their attention, I just think that like rappers don't, think about it. Do rappers use Zoom? It's insane to ask them to. When you honestly, it's crazy.
Yeah, imagine getting on a Google Meet with Riff Raff.
Yeah, it just feels.
You would be so annoyed and so pissed off. It would be like, when the monkey hits the typewriter kind of thing, smash it against the wall.
It's like, look, I get Jay-Z's, he's on investor calls and board meetings and shit, but like the guys we want to talk to, they're going to be on their phone, they're not going to have headphones. It's you just know, but if you sit them down in the room with you and do it all for them, then maybe you could get something,
Oh, rappers. What are we going to do with them? Yeah, that really reminds me of when he had 504 on, and he just FaceTimed us with a bottle of Bub and, wife beater on and some Pyrex shorts in his New Jersey mansion, just having the time of his life.
I think it was more of a tasteful 2-bedroom and a high-rise that he probably doesn't have anymore. Just because of, cost, Jason. New York, even New Jersey real estate's expensive.
So you're saying sometimes you have to step down in terms of square footage in order to move up. For your financial future, something like that.
Exactly. It's not a bad idea.
2026 summer, we're in a rebuilding phase.
We're in I would say when was he on? 2024. I would say the last 2 years we're in a rebuilding phase.
Okay.
But
so the Gone effect didn't work out well for him.
Well, I think he's learning to read, which is probably good overall. You know what I mean? Taking some time away.
Can't hurt ya.
Get a little tutor going. You know what I mean? Learn a little something. I would never fault anyone for bettering themselves. You know that, Jason.
Of course not. Yeah, which is why I'm reading. Just in general, just trying to read more.
Just in general.
The lost art of the written word. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how. Like, I'm trying to create reasons why I would want to read in 2026. And some things are happening. It is a little fruitful.
What do you mean? You mean not for pleasure?
Well, no. Specifically for pleasure, trying to unearth hidden pleasures in reading that. My young, impressionable mind has not yet, because my brain is always, weighing the pros and cons of a situation. And, if I'm 138 pages into this fucking book and the cons are outweighing the pros 10x, I'm throwing it away. And I'm trying to see if there's other parts of reading or books or something that I'm reading a book right now. I won't say what it is or who wrote it because it could be an upcoming guest, but just like, trying to entertain myself by this is how people like me used to talk, in the 90s.
The book that you're talking about is also one that you can, you don't need to read the whole thing. You can pick out what you like because of the way it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
there's a collection of essays, but more so, I guess the point, and I'll let you finish, was just like, if what I'm reading about, I don't care if I don't care what happens at the end of this chapter or essay or story. If none of this interests me whatsoever, can I at least grasp onto, if I was a cultural writer or critic in 1996, is this how I would be writing? Would I be saying stuff? Wagering what things age well and
you
what
shouldn't
things
have to
age
play
poorly,
these games.
which, does that?
If you're 138 pages in and you don't want to read it, then put it down. 138 pages is a lot.
I'm not talking about that, but I know. Just in general,
that's a lot of pages. That's a lot of pages to take to figure out.
I'm really trying because
why?
The failure.
It doesn't matter. There's so many books to read. If you don't like it, just put it down and get up a new one.
I get 10 books a month, and I would say one every 3 months I enjoy. I would say 1 in 30 books I finish and enjoy.
I mean, that's you. That's your problem because you're not seeking the books out. You're getting them sent to you for promotional purposes. If you seek them out,
it's half and half.
If you seek them out and buy them based on what they're about, then you might like it. I would say you'd have a higher hit rate. You'd have a higher hit rate.
I still, yeah. It'll go from 1 in 30 to 1 in 23 or something like that. I've purchased a lot of books. I'll be like, oh, this book was recommended to me by someone, or wow, this is what from an author of something else I liked, or whatever it could be. And it's not because I'm dumb or smart or whatever. It's just the way my brain works. So that's why I'm trying to create these games.
I think you have a very, very, very low attention span, and that is. And we all do. No, we all do. I'm not saying that. I'm not. That's not a shot. That's a fact across the board for all of us.
But is it a low attention span or is it a high bar of attention quality that needs to happen for me to appreciate it? What do you mean?
You're giving yourself way too much credit here.
Well, it's either that or I'm a fucking idiot.
No, it has nothing.
And I don't think I'm an idiot.
It has nothing to do with smarts, though. That's what you're confusing. It has nothing to do with it. It only has to do with.
I don't know. It's not. It doesn't mean you're stupid. There's a lot of smart people out there who have low attention span.
What's this terrible TV show you guys are talking about that you watched with the hot chick that's in Muskoka?
Oh, that show was talking about. It's on Amazon.
It's being watched in my house now too because I obviously told Alex about it and she was like, "Oh, Muskoka."
Yeah.
My point is,
I'll pull it up.
There are that. Like that's on in my house.
Sterling Point,
which is very popular because the actress also looks sort of like a '90s sitcom star in a way that I think makes people feel comfortable.
Sure, absolutely.
But I guess what I'm saying, like yesterday I started a book called Recommend If You Like by a guy named Adam Voith who sent it to me. I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about the book. I opened it. I read 100 pages, and I was like, I could finish this tonight.
Pause.
I was like, this is entertaining. This is about stuff I like. I could finish this tonight. Whereas Sterling Point, I couldn't. I don't know if I could lock in and watch 8 episodes of Sterling Point. Most people can. Do you see what I'm? And that doesn't make me better or worse. It just means that if that I know that the feeling I will get from finishing a book is a much better feeling than finishing a TV show. If that makes sense. So I sort of have that.
Of course.
I have that in the back
Finishing
of my mind.
Finishing a TV show, I don't get any good feelings.
Well, it's also, I think that, and I have the same problem with books, which is a Chris problem and a retention issue. But like, I've read hundreds of books in my life, and I could not tell you the synopsis of several of them without some serious thinking. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't just.
Yeah.
And it's the same issue with. We talked about it all the time. Like if you watch a TV show and you love it, and it's over. I bet 90% of us could not break down the story arc and the plot points a week later, which is crazy because you spent 8 hours or whatever, watching it. It's crazy, but like that's where we're at, man. That's why I watch Reels, Jason. That's it. It's either book or Reels. There's no the in between is not what I'm interested in.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I was just listening to a friend of the show, Matt Bellany. They're talking about how there's no like action flicks anymore because that middle ground is just like a movie either has to cost $1 million or $100 million. If it costs 40 to 50 or whatever. You don't want it because it's not going to have that. It either has to have that instant return on profit or it has to be a slow sleeper that ends up being good. And even if every $50 million tweener movie is profitable, even if it ends up making $100 million, people are just not interested in investing in that right now. And I feel like it's sort of the same thing right here with you. It's either Reels or a 400-page tome about my tumor. And anything in between, it's not getting any shine from you.
It's just tough, man. It's just tough. I think that TV stuff is so competitive that it's fucking crazy. So it's like I think that people are turning on the TV sort of mindless. I think even though we have to make choices now, it's not like when we were kids you could just turn it on and watch it. You know what I mean? Like you have to make choices, but it's not. The choices are so inconsequential because all of it is basically junk. Like I was reading, there's a story about the Shards yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter about basically the reason why it's bad is because the first 2 episodes Brett wrote and the rest of it he did. The rest of it he didn't. So
which is really interesting because I've watched only the first 2 episodes and I was like, y'all, this ain't that bad. I'm okay with this. And now I read that as well, and I'm upset to learn that the next 7 episodes are going to be some horse shit.
But it was just interesting. It was just interesting because it was like this big. The headline was really like dramatic, and it was like we're going to get into the story of what happened.
Here's exactly why this show sucks.
And then I read it, and I was like, "Oh, you mean the guy who wrote it all got bored and said everybody sucks twice, and was like, I don't want anything to do with this shit." I kind of had a feeling that was the case, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting that it can fall off a cliff that quickly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It's everyone like 5 years ago got so into high-low.
Yes.
Everything, high-low dressing. What if you put caviar on a chip? What if, caviar on the fried chicken? It's so crazy. And then everything in the middle, it's the destruction of the middle class. It's the destruction of middle budgeted films. It's the destruction of anything fashion. Just like there's no regular anymore.
Baby, we got Selena, we got Zara.
It has to be a Birkin with my fucking Pro Club shorts, or else what's the point?
No, it's true. I mean, I think that's why I sort of...
Working with the Pro Club? That's every 10 women in Glendale.
But it's like the Tony movie, which I did like, was sort of that to me. Like, it was sort of just like, this is just good. Like, stuff happens. There's no... this didn't cost a crazy amount of money to make. Looks cool. Music is good. I'm good. I'm happy with that hour and 40.
And it's because it's more difficult to form a take about that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You have to use so much more nuance of saying it was good, but and this and this and on that side and on this side, versus like if it's really shitty, thank God, because I can say, oh, that movie sucks. Next thing for me to comment about. Or, oh, the Odyssey came out perfect, no notes, whatever.
Well, what do you think the percentage is realistically of people who've watched the Odyssey and didn't look at their phone? For real. Like, I'm talking phone.
You mean you're in the theater for 3 hours and you don't even check what time it is?
You don't check what time it is. You don't go to the bathroom and check your fucking noties. Like, real talk. I didn't look at my phone.
Percentage of humans who did not pull their phone out, did not look at their phone during that, I would say it's no more than, I'm thinking like 30%.
Oh, way less. You're out of your mind. I don't think even the biggest...
I'm giving us too much credit.
Even the biggest 70 millimeter mouth breathing fucking letterbox dorks. Like, if you're going to the bathroom, you know what I mean? You're an hour and a half in, you've been sucking down those Diet Cokes and Dasanis, and you got to fucking...
I mix it with the Dr. Pepper.
You got to let your lizard talk. There ain't no way. There ain't no way you're not checking your text, even though you have no friends, obviously, if you're seeing a 3-hour movie.
Or even just like I have plans afterwards, or I sent
That's what I mean.
I sent a DM to this guy, and I got to look every 5 minutes to see if he has seen yet or not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
how much more time is on my parking meter.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like you're playing Wordle. I'm saying anything on your phone, any single thing on your phone. Because no matter what, if the idea is you have to lock in for 3 hours, I think 99.9% of polite society is unable to do that in a real way. I really do.
When you go to a movie in the theater, are you looking at your phone at all?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm not there because I
pulled my phone out. I pulled my thing out. I pulled my shit out probably twice in one movie.
Yeah.
And it's only to check what time it is. Only because I'm curious, because in my mind, because of my completely shattered attention span, I'm now creating a game of where I can guess, I think we're 48 minutes into this thing. Well, there was 3 trailers and,
Well, this is why people talk about...
So I'm trying to guess.
This is what people talk about with running without music. Because because you're in your head calculating the song length to know how far, you know what I mean? To know how long you've been running. It's the same.
It's the type of shit you do in jail. You're like, oh, I hear that water, water dripping from that pipe, and it's kind of, what's the BPM on that? Well, every 60 I'll count it and break it down. 118, and suddenly, dripping water is a game or guessing.
But I think that even you checking the time, unfortunately, breaks the rule. You know what I mean? I think that if you're...
It does.
I wonder if our Letterboxd power users out there, if they can pull their heads out of their asses, if I want to know, the real metric is who turns
because we're stat pilled.
Who turns
That's how you always complain about.
Who turns the phone off? That's the real question. I'm saying we shut that bitch down. So even if I pull it out...
Jeremy O'Harris probably ceremonially, he stands up in front of the audience to turn his phone not on silent.
I think it's it's like the people who still I've seen people recently turn their phone off on the plane like it's fucking 2006. And I'm like, guys, we're past that. The internet starts when the plane's off the ground. Like, what's the point? Like, what are you trying? I'm not even saying, not even like old people who still believe the plane is going to crash if they type in their Yahoo.
They have to put their glasses on to turn their phone off.
Yeah, I'm not even saying. I'm saying people, maybe not our age, but I've seen people do it recently. And I was like, wow, is this coming back? Because it's all fake. That was all a lie. And I thought we had, agreed on that.
Yeah, because now, I mean, even if it's like, oh, I'm going to go on this plane and I can't use it anyway, so I'm just going to turn it off to save my battery. No, we got the charger, baby. The charger works now. It used to not work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wi-Fi used to not work.
I'm actually having some issues I want to talk to you about on the plane now that you brought that up, because I'm noticing that the new
who does the points guy call when they need help, right? I guess it's me. Go ahead.
I don't know what the Cupertino official code word is for the quote unquote brick. The thing that you plug your cord into to charge your phone.
Yes. The Cupertino.
The new brick obviously has two outputs, because we're all charging our AirPod Pro Max, and our computer, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I've noticed that brick and the shape of that brick, the world has not caught up yet, Jason. And sometimes on the plane, that the brick won't fit properly with enough headroom or leg room, no pun intended, to plug the cable in. So is that and I don't. Are there other options? I'm not buying off-brand.
So you're saying there's got to be another way. To borrow a word or a phrase from our guest that did not end up working out today, Quavo and the Migos, all you need is the extendo clip.
I need the extendo, and I don't clip. Because people really tried to push the charging pad, and those just don't work. I don't believe it.
They're too hot. It feels like dark magic. It feels like when AI first started and we just found out it was just an Indian guy typing back. It feels like something's going on. They didn't actually figure it out yet.
It just feels like something it's like a guy who makes money meticulously cleaning his apartment on Reels. It's like that kind of guy has the kind of guy that like irons his sheets for content is the if you go to a guy's house and he's got a charging pad next to the bed, you gotta walk the other way. That is a red flag.
Run, honey, run. I don't care what kind of car he drives.
Charging pad is a red flag. That is a red flag, bro. I do not fuck with that. But I'm just saying, I don't know what my options are, because I'm not going to buy, me, I can't buy an off-brand charger.
Ain't no Belkin in this house. It's got to be Apple OEM type shit. No. Okay, so I'm looking at the power adapter. It's like a little square It used to be kind of sitting more vertical. Now it's kind of landscape, and it's got the two USB-Cs in it and the two pronger it's going in. It's nice that we have two instead of three back in the old day when that laptop cable had the three prongs.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
half-inch thick, heavy. You try to wind it up. Can't wind it.
I forgot about that. But yeah, anyway, this
came from the streets. We got it at the bando. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I would say at this point, with something as simple as a brick adapter, it's something that you can buy aftermarket from a third party, and the quality level will be fine, especially considering how often we're replacing these. And
I know this is my mental illness. I know 100% that I can go on Amazon and get something that will work perfectly. But I just can't, you know what I mean?
But you're loyal to the brand, and I think that's awesome. Not one Belkin, not one Anchor.
I unfortunately,
even though they make a great accessory.
I unfortunately do have an Anchor micro SD reader to do this podcast, and it took a lot for me to admit that on the microphone, but I couldn't find one.
See, I'm so glad that I shared, because it made you share.
It made me share. Yeah, I was gonna. This happened because I was, when my last recorder shit the bed and I bought all this stuff, I was in Sag Harbor with my in-laws, and I just need to get it done, and I didn't feel like summer was. We were just getting over the
Sag Harbor with my in-laws. I just need to get it done.
We were getting.
It has like a little roll role model feel free.
If it was Cape Cod, it would be a role model lyric. But I was trying to. I didn't want to bother you with. I'd bothered you enough, and I was like, I'm not going to ask Jason to go to Apple.com right now and see if they have a micro SD reader. But I imagine that they do, and if several people are going to let me know that they do.
The harbor changed you.
I didn't want to. I feel like I ask you a lot of technical questions, and it's easy for you to answer, so you don't mind. But I don't like to bog you down.
Well, Chris, my type. Me being such a Virgo, I get delighted when I get to put my Genius Bar hat on for you.
Okay.
For anyone, but for you as well, because it's like, oh, finally somebody recognizes how techie I am, which I guess when I say it out loud is not really something I should be excited about.
Well, if I need to go like Jay Ellis, if I need real shit answered, I go to Jay because that's like a different level. That's a different level. But for everyday questions, no one does it better than you. No one does it better than you.
I would love to know what an example of a real question is.
I just mean Jake. I feel like if I asked Jay how to my outlet at my house isn't working, he would get on FaceTime and show me how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like it's
where
just,
I could do it, but he will get there with much more ease. And I will get there where I'm sort of pretending like I know and sort of Googling it off the side on my iPad that I have just out of screen just to get it done. So you're wise to do something like that, and it's a good example. It makes sense.
But something needs to happen here. But I'll check the Apple.com website after this is over and see what I can get into and see.
Yeah, Apple's not going to have the extendo. It's funny because you go to some hotels and you're like, oh, this one they got the USB-C on here, so I don't know.
That's happening a lot. That's happening a lot more. That happened at the Zetter in London. That happened at the Rosewood in London.
It's happening more and more, which is cool. But it's just interesting to see how long it takes for people to make the switch over. And Apple always is sort of the first one to do it. They're always the one where they're like, what if your computer didn't have a fucking plug at all? And you're like, well, I need some plugs. It's kind of, it'd be nice if I had like,
it's like, you know that people use these to work, right? It's not just aesthetically pleasing. We got to plug shit into.
Right, what if your phone had no button at all?
I mean, I'm excited.
That was kind of cool.
I'm not going to front. I'm excited for a foldable iPhone. I'm going to check it out. I'm not saying I'm going to buy it, but I'm going to check it out.
You trying to fold it like Ish?
I'm trying to get, I'm folded like Kaylani. I'm folded like Kaylani. Because I remember years ago, during COVID, Tom Brown did a collaboration with Samsung, and they sent it to me, and it was a foldable Samsung, and I was like, well, I can't use a Samsung, but the feeling of folding it was so gratifying. Like the shutting of the phone, like you would with a razor, felt so good. It's like closing a Porsche door. That I was like, man.
The rest is still unwritten. Yeah, okay, yeah. The Porsche door, the sound of the sidekick whipping around and clicking into place. Oh my God. Clean up on aisle me.
Get Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that as well, and I may have DJ'd an activation at the Hollywood and Highland Mall when that Samsung, and I remember I had to create a Samsung account for the day so I could post the Instagram story posted from the Samsung device. And I remember even back then I was like, these motherfuckers the camera is so good. It's so much better than the iPhone. I remember that, but then I still remember like still not good enough. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's
no shade to the Samsung family.
No, I mean, I think the folding phone does give us a gratification that we're looking for, and it's possible that the world is so because I'm seeing brands posting stuff now where like the model is using sort of like a 2000s sport headphone with a iPad or excuse me with a iPod mini or whatever. Like I'm seeing a lot of that creatively,
like the Y2K nano aesthetic.
Yeah, like
post yellow Discman.
Yes, exactly, like post sport Discman, but like same kind of vibe. And I wonder. I had
so many MP3 players.
You had a Zune, right? Because you probably got one for free.
I had a Zune. I remember a friend of the show, Paul Chang, pulled up to my house in Silver Lake in the Zune fully skinned and branded Toyota FJ Cruiser, the one that has the little snorkel on the front, which is a very expensive collector's item car now. Insane.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's one of those cars that is no longer exists.
Yeah, Kanye is gonna have a fleet of them in matte black in the next 5 years. But I remember that Zune came out, and I was like, this is some bullshit. But everyone had to get into it, and it was kind of fun to use each MP3 player. Is fun to learn a new I don't know, operating system for it.
I don't think I ever had an MP3 player except for an iPod. I don't think I ever dabbled in the other ones, because there were some
I was devised up.
rudimentary ones that were before, that preceded the iPod. But
yeah, I had most of them. I remember
because
my brother was so deep on the with the mini disc back then.
Your brother had
a
mini disc?
Asking if I can use. He had a mini disc player which had a built-in like high quality recorder.
Yeah.
Which also had built-in like send and return like audio inputs, and I remember he recorded
a show.
He just sent me the files like a few weeks ago. Elliott Smith and Granddaddy at the Wiltern.
Oh wow!
Like
okay.
02 or something like that.
I always forget that your brother is the go. I always forget that your brother is the
bro.
goat.
He's
and
got.
Sometimes I need to be reminded.
He had a mini disc recording of. I could be wrong on the exact details, but Greek theater, Radiohead, live recording. Literally, no ticket to the show. Climb in a tree in the hills to record.
See, that's why. Look, that's the commitment I'm looking for from my fellow heads. You know what I mean? That's amazing.
And the interesting part of how this amazing, it's like a part of our life, and that's how old we are. But when I tell these stories, it feels like train hopping in the 60s to see the Dead. You know what I mean? Like it has that level of whatever fantasy and throw it back at it isms. But he was like, what? In a way to weave that into modern technology, he's like, I have these files, which I recorded, just standing in the middle of the Wiltern. While I remember Elliott Smith did "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Wow,
that he did a cover of that, and he's like, "Can we use some like AI plug-in technology to like
get these up to snuff,
re-digitize and remaster?" And I was like, "That's actually one of the maybe only interesting good parts of AI audio restoration, of course." Fixing some stuff that needs to be, but you could take an old ass recording, and instead of like hiring some crazy guy that you can afford to have it, remastered and whatevered, you can get it sound pretty good with AI.
Recently I was doing an interview with this guy Chris Giamatti, and he pulled out the Teenage Engineering like recording device.
Oh, the little recorder.
That shit is so cool. I was like, this is cool as for hell. And he was like, yeah, this thing is like, he's like, it really helps when you're interviewing people because it immediately breaks the ice. Because people are like, what is that? He's like, you know what teenage engineering is, and you'd never seen this.
Jacob Elordi's like, man, that's cool.
But I'd never seen it before. And it looks so, obviously, most people just use their iPhone. Real reporters use the old school dictaphone. The teenage engineering feels somewhere in between because it is aesthetically pleasing, but it's also old school in the way that it works.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, like, who is the most that device to pull it out to where if you pull it out to interview this person, it won't feel strange at all. It'll be a completely frictionless, like if you pull it out in front of Cameron Winter, will he not even,
I think,
you know what I mean?
You know who wouldn't? Pattinson. Known beat maker, hip-hop head, musician, Robert Pattinson, he wouldn't flinch.
Man, he's cool enough to where he won't geek out on it and be like, oh, is that the 300?
Yeah.
Is that the 320F? Yeah, that one's cool. He'll just clock it, and that's it. It's not big dick energy. It's nice looking dick energy.
It's nice good dick, regular good dick energy. That's what we should aim for. Big dick energy has been overhyped. Let's just go for regular, normal dick energy. It's better.
Yeah. They talk about size and shape. Don't sleep on shape. You know what I'm saying? Size is cool, but
don't sleep. Don't sleep now. Do not sleep.
Nice shape.
No, that'll do something for you. Damn, that'll do something for you.
You got a handsome dick.
We should talk about. Wait, handsome. Okay, hold on. This is funny that you brought this up because this came up the other night at a dinner.
Because I didn't bring up, I just said the words handsome dick, but go ahead.
Well, a woman said, Emily Dawn Long said that she liked being called handsome. And I thought to myself, I've heard handsome couple, to refer to a couple, a dual gender.
In our mind, in the public opinion, handsome couples as far as we go.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would actually work in the real world. I don't know if you could go up to a non-stud, like just a regular baddie, and be like, yo, you're handsome as hell. I don't think that would.
You mean a solo female, not?
Yeah, yes. I'm saying.
Have you ever said you guys make a handsome couple to a couple?
I haven't, but people have said that to me, and I clocked it as something I should say because I do like the way that sounds. It does feel.
You're like, I hear it all the time when people are talking to me, but I've never really seen.
I don't
enough to really say it out loud.
I just don't hear people say it that often. Is what I'm. It's
quite rare. I feel like I've probably said it 3 times in my life just because just to amuse myself, see what happens, kind of thing. I mean, does anyone ever say you guys make a handsome couple in 2026 without it being sort of a performative experiment? But I've never heard. It's an interesting take from Emily. I like it. And I don't know if handsome, like what exactly does handsome mean? Like the etymology of the word.
I don't have those kind of answers, bro. You think I'm a fucking professor?
Well, I was only of posing the question in real time as I figure it out on the internet, just for our audience.
They might know better than we do if I'm keeping it a buckaroo.
So how did you feel about her saying, I like being called handsome as a female?
I think that I also got in trouble for saying female, but that's a different story. Not from her, from a narc. But I think that it's like anything else, and we talk about this a lot. If you deliver it the right way, it's understood to be a compliment.
Okay, handsome. It comes from the word hand and some. I hope you're sitting down. Its original meaning has little to do with physical attractiveness. The hand body part associated with handling, control, and skill, and some, an English suffix meaning characterized by or tending to. In Middle English, it means, quote unquote, easy to handle, convenient, or handy, which then changed to skillful and capable, then appropriate or well proportioned, pleasing in appearance, and then finally now it means attractive.
I mean, in that case, then it sounds like free game. It sounds like you could call. I mean, that description is non-binary.
Yeah, because if you walk up to a woman and say like, "Hey, you're really hot, but you also look easy to manage," is a woman going to be complimented by that, or is she going to say like, "What is that supposed to mean?"
I mean, that's tough. I think most women want to be. I think most women would prefer to be seen as difficult.
They would. No.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's a lot of women out there who would pride themselves on being quote unquote easy to manage, compared to their competition out there on the dating world. But it's not necessarily something that you would want to say out loud and put into the discourse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I was just surprised. I'd never heard that discussed before, and it was an interesting wrinkle because I still don't think I would feel comfortable saying it. Not because it would be taken offensively, but just because I think it would be more confusing than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, if women are allowed to say like, hey, he's XYZ, but he's got a good job, you know what I mean? They're allowed to say that. We're able to say, she's XYZ, but she's easy to manage.
Easy to manage is
I guess
really
it
funny.
is giving employee.
You know why? Well, it's also like there's no woman that is easy to manage. That's the thing. It's just it's a fallacy from the get go.
There's no women that are easy to manage. Debate me.
Yeah, please.
On your Charlie Kirk shit. I like it. Okay.
I dare you, bro. I dare you. All right, we should.
Okay, so how? Yeah, we were about to talk to we were about to talk about something until we got on our handsome shit.
I think we should talk about the Goneies because they were just announced this morning, which is our award show that is taking place in New York City at 9:15 at Racket, which is the old Highline Ballroom in Chelsea.
9:15 as in September 15th, not PM.
Yeah, September 15th, 7 p.m. actually. But I'm very excited that this thing is out into the world because I feel like we've been talking about it for a long time. And like all great things, it started out as a joke after Los Culturistas paved the way. As usual, straight men are coming behind, and doing our thing.
And we said, what if there was Las Culturistas Awards, but for guys like us? So yeah, and we've been Brad Cook, who's an old friend of ours, an incredible musician in his own right and producer. He's put together a all-star house band who is going to kind of keep the show moving, but also back up, several performances from special guests that we're not really allowed to announce because of radius clauses and shit like that. But I think all of them but one have been on the show. Yeah.
We can't, that doesn't really narrow it down that much. But I will say,
one
if you
of
like
700 different.
Let's say this: if you like, let's say if you like music like me, then you should buy a ticket to this show, even if you hate us, because it will at least you'll get your money's worth just from performances alone. I would say.
Mm-hmm. Will there be covers? Probably. That are unique. Should we record them on my brother's mini disc player? Probably.
we should. Yeah, we can release this on Jaguar mini disc recording, untouched, unedited.
Let's see if Jake can do Don't Fear the Reaper.
I am sure Jake can do Don't Fear the Reaper. But yeah, so
Jake who? I'll never tell.
We're getting our categories in order. We have several. I think that some are obvious. Kind of classic. Best dressed, et cetera. But then we do have some categories. I would say fake chef of the year feels pretty, authentic to How Long Gone.
Yeah, there is not a fake chef killing it in 2026 who we have not
exactly
discussed.
So we have several categories. Hopefully, a lot of our nominees they'll be notified. Hopefully, they'll be in town. But yeah, please hold the date. We're looking forward to it. It's the day after my birthday, so I'll be freshly 44 delivering these awards.
Yes, and also during it's the week when New York is the most alive, which is why we really chose that date, as well as it being piggybacking your B-Day, but US Open, Fashion Week, it's going to be a who's who of everyone that's in town. And you could pull it up on it's variety.com. That's the website, right?
Emily, Feed Me just talked about it as well, just seconds ago. So we're getting the word out.
Yeah,
we're getting the word out.
This morning it's going to be like a kind of half VIP friends and fam guest list vibe, and then half tickets open to the pub. It is almost sold out already, which is great news for us. I feel awesome about that, but I don't know. Are we going to do? We'll do a late show. Just kidding.
Yeah, we'll do a late show. I don't know. Late show for me is 7:00, so I don't know how that would. I don't know how that. We're already doing a late show. How would that work exactly?
And I think we're gonna maybe film some of it if those of our listeners who are not going to be able to make it. So it'll be something that we can all enjoy virtually as well. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. To be clear, we're not streaming it. We're not that we ain't doing all that. That requires too much camera stuff,
No.
And
we're not streaming it.
And but you'll be able to digest the content on
our clip farm will make quick work of it, but we won't be streaming it live.
We'll have 10 guys with camelbacks on somewhere, fucking clipping backstage, and they'll be able to get. It's gonna smell weird in there, but they're gonna get it done.
And we pretty much have all the categories lined up. And some really awesome, amazing sponsors. But if you represent a brand or a company that has a lot of money to spend and you would like to have your own category, give us a call. We're not above it.
The categories are for sale. Right now, we got Marshall, we got Meta, we're good. Meta Threads Carpet. We're working on finding the host now. It's going to be somebody interesting, though.
Yeah, the Threads carpet is going to be nice.
I'm just glad that we don't have to do that. It's cool that I was like, oh, somebody else gets to do that. It feels weird, but
I know it's right. It's like who cleans up at the janitor's birthday party, right?
Damn, bro, I never thought about it like that. But yeah, thank you guys for buying the tickets already. Buy them if they're still available, and we'll see you there on September 15th.
And also during that week, I'll be in town. There's a few fashion events. Shout out to our Chanel family. But on the 12th, Chris and I are going to bop up to our old favorite stomping grounds up north in Toronto. There's going to be a little outdoor kind of wine related block party kind of DJ thing going on that will be announced. I guess I don't know. I guess this is sort of being announced now, even though we're not saying the name of it. But we'll pump that on the social media. So if you're in Toronto on September 12th and you want to drink orange wine on a sidewalk while I DJ music, let's pull up. And Chris will be there as well.
What's better than summer in Toronto?
It's a How Long Gone takeover. A summer in Toronto.
Oh, baby. Oh, my goodness.
With a bottomless bucket of orange offerings.
Oh, God, that's crazy. And hopefully those are local.
Should we crack another one, bro?
Hopefully those are local Ontario wines. I hope they're from
certainly, Christopher. Certainly.
Hopefully they're from the local region.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen other than me DJing. I'm sure there's going to be lots of cool, food and drinks and drugs and all that good stuff. Maybe Chris and I will. Is there a local poutineerie that we can design a custom poutine for the night? I don't know what it's going to be. Tempeh and sprouts, probably, with some tofu curds.
God, poutine, even though it's a Montreal thing, it really is a disease that has infected the world. What a disgusting... It's one of the most... Even though America is considered the fattest, most slovenly people, I feel like poutine takes Canada to number 2 just with that. Like, just take Tim Hortons out of it. Poutine as a thing is one of the most fat boy items on earth.
Canada is technically in the Americas, so...
No, of course, but it's its own country. You know what I mean?
It's obviously it's its own country and its own people, but... I'm sure, down in Maine, Tucker's uncle is probably tangled with something similar to a poutine. What is a border? I don't see any borders, but that has me thinking I'm going to be in Dublin at the end of the month in a few weeks, and I've got my sights set on the spice bag.
Yeah.
Which is basically, Asian poutine through the lens of the whitest people alive.
What? So it's a bag of fries with spices, or is there something I'm missing?
It's like a fast food, late night drunken snack, usually in like a literal bag, like a brown paper sack. It's basically you get French fries or chips as they call them over there, maybe a little thicker cut, UK style chip.
Yeah.
And they put like chili seasoning, seasoning salt all over it. And then they put toppings like, chicken or meats or whatever, onions, chilies, peppers. And then they usually have, or not usually, but oftentimes they'll have a side of like a curry sauce.
Okay.
And then sometimes you dip the fries and the chicken and the whatever in the sauce, or you just rip the bag open and pour the curry sauce all over it and eat it kind of like a poutine, I guess.
Let me ask a question. I think Jay Lee was posting about this when I think he was there.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, when you rip the bag and you're using a fork or using your hands?
This is a hands situation.
No. Not for me.
I mean, I obviously, like, you can go bring it home and eat it with a knife and fork or whatever.
But that's embarrassing.
I think it's the kind of thing like you're outside the pub and you and your mates all tuck into the spice bag.
I just find that to be.
Also, I've never been there. Maybe they use a chopstick. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they use a chopstick. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid of what that would do to my hands.
It does sound very messy.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, wiping that curry sauce all over the front of your new Prada shirt. Oh, God.
It just feels like something that is like you could wash your hands for 2 days and the smell still is not going to come out. That's my issue.
Got it. I know exactly what you mean.
It looks delicious. It looks delicious because there's at that restaurant I like in Dime Square called Tolo. They do like fries in a bag with like seaweed and some other spices, and they're so fucking good. I think about them all the time, but I do feel like it's a kind of an Asian twist on that. Now that you're saying this,
when you said fries in a bag with seaweed, I was like, bro, that sounds disgusting. But we're talking about the little dried furikake flakes and not.
Yeah, it's so they're so good. I think about them all the time. Like it's just because I've never had anything like it.
Well, we got to get you some nice artisan furikake. I'll get some sent over through my Japanese diaspora websites. I remember it's like literally like furikake.org or something like that, but I got this furikake that had these little tiny flakes that were Snoopy.
Wow!
Just Snoopy's head mixed in with like the sesame seeds.
Are you sure that Chris Chang didn't make these himself and deliver them to you? Are you sure?
I don't remember where I saw it, but I just ordered it. I mean, I think they have them at that H Mart as well.
That's cool.
But I really feel like I ordered them from straight up furikake.org or something. But it's just a little pack of furikake, and then there's little tiny Snoopy heads mixed in with all the seasonings. Put it over your yummy rice.
Oh yeah, that does sound delicious. I have to say
they probably come in regular as well as spicy. spicy. Oh, too spicy.
Now I'm starting to think about shiso. So you're getting me down a dark path, Jason. Thank God
I love shiso leaf. Uchi boys, we up.
Uchi boys are up. I do love it, and I think about it a lot. And I don't really get it that often, but it's something I think about. I will admit.
I'm sure Flynn, if you say like, hey, could you like do me a nice kind of Cape Cod scallop and shiso? I can't say shiso anymore because of the way you say it.
No, you got to say shisho. Yeah. You got to say it wrong. You got to say it wrong. You got to say it wrong. Yeah, if you don't say it wrong, you're not saying it right, is what I would say.
So true. And if you have to explain it, it ain't gonna happen. Actually, speaking of Asian food, I was just I was listening to some pods this morning as I was doing some chores, just spraying the driveway down with the hose or whatever it is I'm doing. And I was like, oh, let me see what David Chang's talking about it. And there was his episode. It was like 20 minutes long, not counting commercials. And I'm sure it was probably 18 to 13 minutes of actual content. And the episode was entitled "Do You Wash Your Feet?" And it was
Jesus
him
Christ.
and two other guys asking if they wash their feet in the shower,
bro.
And I'm like, bro, this guy has a Netflix deal. and then as soon as I finished listening to that, I was like, Joe Budden deserves all the money,
dude.
Like they're good,
dude. They're really good. Well, I was saying, somebody was telling me that because I was like, I've never listened to Bill Simmons. I don't care about Bill Simmons. I don't care about The Ringer. That's just not my thing. And I think it was Jake Gallagher was like, dude, he just did an episode recently where he talked about how he doesn't ever wear a seatbelt.
See that now I'm kind of back.
And I was like, shit, that's so good. I was like, that's fucking A+ stuff. I was like, I completely, finding out that one small fact about Bill Simmons I was like, that's too good. And when he interviewed Ben Affleck when he was pilled out, when he had the HBO show for a month, those are the only two things I know about Bill Simmons, and I like them both a lot.
Yeah, Bill, now that I think about it, he is kind of dark woke. Like he leans pretty left, Democratic, but he has a dark side that's underneath him that's kind of only really coming out just because of his age. Like he's old enough, he's been doing it long enough to where he's like, maybe I'll say some stuff that a lot of people are going to disagree with, and I don't really give a shit.
I don't really wear a seat.
Which only comes with age.
Just say you don't wear a seat. It's just so cool. It's so stupid. It's just, there's no, like, and I was trying to think about it. I was like, maybe his approach is like, people say it's better to get in an accident when you're drunk because your body's so relaxed. That was always. Yeah. I heard that as a justification for
like,
drunk driving.
If I was wearing my seatbelt, I would have been dead in that burning car. Thankfully, I was flung out of the window.
I broke every
away
bone
from this explosion. But that's the way the logic used to be. With NASCAR and F1 racing, it was like no seatbelt. Like you have to be flung from the car because every time it crashes, it explodes into a fireball, early time.
Well, I mean, let's not forget, you could get decapitated by the seatbelt as well, depending on impact.
Bro, the seatbelt is so dangerous. Seatbelt is the original vaccination.
How often do you
think when people, they're like, yeah, my uncle died in a car accident last week, and they just said belted?
Exactly. Oh, I bet he was belted. Huh. Well,
probably belted, huh?
That's something to think about.
They got us belting on the airplane. Fuck out of here, bro.
Do you put a seatbelt on in an Uber?
Yes.
I try to, but I often don't.
The only time I don't put a seatbelt on is when I'm in Manhattan.
Yeah. Also, I guess
because the speeds are never really reached.
I guess the response was somebody asked him like, "What do you do about the beeping?" And he was just like, "If you wait long enough, it stops."
It's true, and it depends on the car. But also in Glendale, all of my bros, all of my Yukons and Escalades and etc., they all had a guy disable the beep.
Well, I was going to say
first thing you do when you get the car.
I remember one of my friends made a little money, and he got do you remember that Dodge that was like during the Charger era, but it was kind of a wagon? Do you remember that car?
Yeah.
Sure. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called, but he went on YouTube and figured out the way to disable the seatbelt beep, and I was like, wow, that feels like a lot of work for to turn that off when it's meant to save your life. I guess that felt like a bridge too far for me.
I know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of things that people do, with cars or bicycles or other things where you just say, like, oh, I'm going to take the reflectors off my bike. That shit's fucking makes me look like a pussy. All my friends are going to make fun of me if I wear, but disabling the seatbelt in your car, the sound that it makes, it's a next level of dedication to just sort of ignorant manhood and masculinity, which I also kind of like. I like people who are like, seatbelts it's a little too fruity. I don't enjoy it. I'll take my chances with death.
It just feels like a cool thing that's coming back around.
It is coming back around. It's like,
I thought I would never hear.
Yeah, we're not going to push back about free speech or abortion rights or anything like that. But seatbelts, that's something I'm going to get behind. Do you think at some point, because Bill Simmons has hundreds of millions of dollars and millions of audience members, do you think he had a thing in his mind where he's like, I'm about to publicly take my anti-seatbelt stance. Am I going to be okay if I get in a car accident with no seatbelt on and die? Is that going to be like funny to me? You know what I mean? Or is that going to be embarrassing?
I'm not clear on his sense of humor because I haven't downloaded enough of his I haven't listened to enough of his content. Like, I know that
I think there's a lot of crossover because I know you're a Bill Maher enjoyer. I know a lot of people where it's like Maher is for my politics and Bill is for my sports stuff.
I mean, Maher is not.
You don't need no sports stuff.
Maher is not for my politics. Maher is basically because there's no shows like that to watch. Do you know what I mean? Right. Like, that's really, I just like
Maher is for Sunday night before I go to work on Monday. I want to laugh at a guy making fun of everyone.
I really like the format of the show. I really like that he sits down, he does a monologue, he sits down with someone for 5 minutes, then he goes to the panel, and it's whatever, and then he finishes with his little stuff that he thinks is funny. Mm-hmm. I just really like the way it's set up. He's kind of a dumbass, of course, but if it worked, I mean, it's worked for 20 years.
Yeah, and people talk about all the time in the biz that having a structure and having people know what just happened and what's going to happen next, that's almost enough sometimes to be a success.
Yeah.
Like the quality of what's happening in each segment, it doesn't need to be great all the time, as long as we know that New Rules is coming up next. Yeah. And then after we talk to Jed Bush, then we get to do a panel with this person from the Atlantic, or
him going toe to toe with David Sedaris in a comb skirt. That was good. That was good television. That's 5 minutes that I don't want back. I enjoyed that myself.
David wearing his fucking Comme des Garçons skirt, man. At some point, David. I mean, David, he's goated. Come on the pod whenever, but we're gonna clown your look, bro.
He wants to come on the pod, but he doesn't do anything remote. He will only do things IRL. Which I really respect, actually.
Well, we'll come out to the Shire. Pick up a stick.
I'll meet you at the Shire at 2:30. Bring your Zoom recorder.
I made a Jon Hamm reference earlier, but congrats to Jon, pregnant at 55.
Well, he's not pregnant, but
well, look, if I can call a woman handsome, I can say a guy's pregnant, all right?
That's true. Woke ass.
Half of that is his.
That's true.
No, that's a thing. People say we're pregnant, and including the male.
I know, and it's annoying. But do you think he?
What's worse, my partner or I'm pregnant?
I mean, that's tough. Those are both stupid. Do you think that this is Hamm? Like,
what would you do if you were hanging out at the fucking? If a guy came up to you and was like, "I'm pregnant." What would you do?
I don't know.
Would you be just taken aback?
I think I'd be so taken aback. I would just continue the conversation and not acknowledge it as best I could.
What, a chortle?
No congratulations. No good for you. Just kind of. Oh man, cool. Is that a Sprite? I don't really like Sprite. Just kind of
absorb and deflect. Move on quickly.
Absorb and move on. That's the best case scenario. Because even I feel like the partner thing. If somebody says it and I'm like, come on, bro, they will usually be like, I know. Mm-hmm. They don't like it either. They've just conditioned themselves to say it. No one likes that. I really don't think it.
I don't like it.
I really don't think anyone likes saying that. I think people say it because they feel like they have to, depending on the setting, especially if it's in a professional setting.
True. I like having another arrow in my quiver because I can say my partner, my wife, my chick, my spouse.
Well, I
got 12 different.
I've come up with a new happy wife, happy life. If you want to take it for a spin.
Okay. Drum roll, please.
Happy bitch, happy sitch. What do you think?
That's the most gym class heroes fucking colloquialism I've ever heard in my life.
Bro, do not bring up my boy Travi. My boy Travi ain't catching a stray because I came up with something stupid.
It really takes you back to that last year where a guy could say my bitch and everyone lets it slide. They're not happy about it, but they're gonna let it slide.
I'm not even happy about it. I wish I didn't have a brain like this.
And luckily in 2026, the word bitch is unisex. Wife, not unisex. I'm just saying, this is actually progress.
Every day, Jason, we kick the can down the road further and further. That's if nothing else, we're kicking that damn can down the road.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look, how long gone? Thank you guys for joining us. Kicking the can down the road. The Goneies, September 15th, New York City. Get your tickets. It'll be fun. We're back next week with more podcasts for your head top as usual.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully by the time this comes out, it will be fully sold out. So sorry about that.
Yeah, hopefully.
I reposted the Variety on my Twitter, so just go give that a like or whatever. Thank you guys so much. Job bless, and thanks to everyone who sent their congrats. Thanks to Emily for putting it in Feed Me. The list goes on. Love y'all. Excited to do an award show. Excited to do some monologue, writing, and reading.
Mm-hmm. I love reading. We covered that already. Thank you. HowLongGone.com. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Smoke one time. Drink one time. Let me fuck on one time. Tell the club boy one time. Smoke on one time. Drink on one time. Let me fuck on one time. Tell the club boy one time. Only take one time. Only take one.